Alright, so I have my cover page for the stuff that's going to be right below the header, and we're going to start doing this. So in this, we need just a little bit of code. I'm going to create a div ID. This will be an ID since this is the only div that'll be there with this name, and it's going to be, let me think. Okay, yeah, cool dash bg, just for giving a just a cool background that I have. And in the typography, I'll create the entry. So that'll be cool dash bg, and this will have a background image. That'll be a URL. Now this URL itself will be slightly different. We will create a new file. Not a new file, sorry. We'll create a new variable called bg-url, and this will be let's see, images slash cover.png. But we need we need to go up one directory, since when it compiled in main.css, it's going up one directory and then into image and then to cover.png. So we're going to need that. And then once we've done that, we can write in here, we can say URL and image. So if you were to change the sort of background URL, and I might use this in various different places, so that I don't need to replace this time and again, I can just do this. And if I refresh here, it won't do anything, and that's because of a reason. If we inspect the element and in cool-bg, you can see that we have the background. Oh no, we didn't compile it, sorry. Even after this, we'll have the background, but since there's no content in there, we're gonna have to sort of define our min height. All right, so let's do that real quick. Min height, minimum height will be, let's say, 400 pixels. Actually 500 will be good. And then width will be 100%. We don't need to define this, but we will, just cause. Okay, compile that real quick, then refresh. Now we get that, but we need a background attachment. Okay, attachment of 100%, 100%. I'm gonna refresh that again. Okay, so I have that now. Now in here, I want to write a, you could say, catchphrase sort of, and I will create a new ID for that. In here, I'll say div catch. Oh, never mind. Div. Oops. Yeah, div ID equals catch. Catch, and in here we'll say we teach web dev. Actually, never mind. Web development for free. All right, I'm gonna refresh this. We have this not very good looking sort of, you could say, a we have a not very good looking string of text over here, so I'm going to change that real quick. Now if you see over here, the container has a width of 1980 pixels and a padding of 10 pixels. Now I want the same thing to be there in the catch also, so instead of this, I'll remove these two and we'll create a mixin. Now if I was to compile this, then I can run the SASS command. Now if I was to refresh, you see this is gone. So we'll create a new mixin in the helpers directory. I'm going to go back to SCSS, and in helpers I'll create a file called _mixins.scss. Now mixins are like functions, but we don't need to sort of return anything, and it'll automatically sort of insert it into there. So you'll understand what I mean in a minute. I'll say mixin. Wait a minute. mixin. I believe I have made a mistake. Yeah, never mind. Okay, mixin, and then we can use the mixin. Let's say this mixin will be the uh, okay, the margin, right? Actually, we'll set this as the content mixin. Um, you'll see why I did that as content. We'll have two variables. We'll have the width. We'll have the padding. Actually, we'll set the mixin to center. All right, or rather middle. That's much better. Middle. So once we have that, so what we're basically doing is we'll enter the width that we want for a particular div, and we want the padding, and it should automatically get sort of incorporated. So in here, if I say right above the container, I'll say okay, 1 minute. That was not supposed to happen. Okay, I'm gonna remove all of this, and I'll create a new class. This is not actually a class, but it's just a the programming kind of class. This is not a selector, but this is a programming kind of class that you use, and this will be center, or rather middle. And in here we are going to set the common elements that are there. So you see we have common elements, like we have the inside the container we have 1 minute. Yeah, we need to assign this catch. All right, catch. And like for example, even in the catch we have things like common we need the width to be 980 pixels, just like the container, and then we want it to be in the center. So we're gonna instead of writing the code again and again over there, we're just going to say width that's going to be 980 pixels. 1 minute, do I have a variable here about that? No, never mind. Okay, so we're gonna say width 980 pixels, margin auto, and then I'm going to save that. And then in here I'll say extends, add extends, okay, add extend, not extends, add extend percent middle, and then we're going to do that. Now or here also in the container also we're going to do the same thing, at extend middle, and I'm going to save that. Now I can remove this margin auto. Now if I compile this real quick, okay, we have an error. Okay, select a middle. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna compile this again. Error dot container failed to extend middle. The error that I made was it's supposed to be percent middle, so that'll fix it. I'm gonna save this and we'll compile it. We shouldn't have any error, and now when I refresh, we get this aligned properly. Now of course I'll have to assign the font size over here. I remove that apparently. Font size 25 pixels. I'm going to save that, real quickly compile again and refresh. Oops. Okay, apparently 1 minute. Oh, I have that. Okay, never mind, sorry. Container, I don't really want this to be the container's font size. I want this to be the container that's inside the header. So basically if I set this to 25, it'll set all the fonts to 25. I don't want that. I want the container which is inside the header sort of nesting. So for that, normally what you would do is sort of say header, and then you'll say dot container dot container. I just spelled that wrong, but never mind. And then you would assign. But in here, it's not like that. You could do like that also, but a better way to do it is sort of nested within this. So I'm gonna say container, and in here I'll say font size 35 pixels. Now if I save it and compile, so it set the font size to 35 pixels again. Now of course we lost we're gonna add some padding on the top and the bottom. So let's do that real quick. Header padding. Now we should not assign any padding on the left and the right. We'll just assign on the top and the bottom. So we'll say padding 0 pixels. Then, oh, sorry, 10 pixels, 0, not 10, 10 will be too much. So it's say 5 pixels, 0, 5 pixels, and 0. Now, if I save this and compile, and then refresh, so there we go, we have a slightly better one. Now, we'll assign some padding to the container itself, actually. So I can just remove this, uh, and we will assign the padding to within this also this. I'll say padding, and that'll be 5 pixels. So if I refresh now, there we have the padding. Okay, one minute. Um, there we have the same padding, and now, however, we need to turn this text color to white and then make it larger. So I'm gonna do that now. I'll say catch color to hash FFF. I'm gonna save that. Now if I refresh over here, okay, I didn't compile it. We'll compile it real quick, refresh. We have white text color, but we want to make it bigger. So I'll say font size, and I want to make it crazy big. So I'll make it something like 50 pixels. Now that'll be a little too much, actually. Uh, Refresh. Okay, actually that's not that much. And what I want to do is I will set this to appear right in the middle. So I'll say um, line height. Line height will be the height of this cool BG itself. So that's 500 pixels. I'm gonna refresh this. Oh, okay, compile and then refresh it. Now when I refresh, we get this. Now, however, you see, when this background sort of mixes in with the white background, it becomes difficult to see. So we'll add a text shadow that forms a text outline, black color text outline, so that we can see it.